Hi, this is Charlie from Path of the Bee. So today I'm gonna head up north and stay the night and get up early in the morning and pick up my new Nucs of bees that are coming. And I thought I'd kind of share the trip with you and sort of a little bit what's going on with me here with my life. So I'm getting a little bit older and I'm slowing down, so I'm not getting as many bees and that sort of thing. I think we'll start this trip off by, I'm about to head down the rear grade, and I know you guys, I showed you guys the trip up, but how about the view down? So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the trip down here, and then when I get to the bottom, we'll talk about kind of what I plan for my honeybee business and some of those things. So, all right, well, let's get started. Okay, so now down here at the bottom of the grade and going through this little town called Greer and across the river here, Clearwater River, on the bridge, and then we'll be on Highway 12. So I told you kind of that I would visit a little bit about what my plans are, my future plans with my honeybee business. And I find myself slowing down quite a bit when it comes to the bees. In retrospect, I'm still passionate about it, but not as passionate. And I don't want to, the heavy weight. I don't want to lift it anymore, and I'm just slowing down at it. So I've got a lot of equipment that I've gathered up over the years, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on and get some bees every spring, like I'm doing still. And I'll harvest the honey, and then I'll sell the equipment with the bees in it in August. So that's my plan this year. All the bee colonies that I have, as soon as I pull the honey off, the double deep colonies with laying queen, we will sell equipment and all in about the 1st of August. So that's my goal right now. I do have some overwintered colonies, and I have I'm going to go pick up 6 now. I knew I was going to cut back somehow or another, so I only ordered 6 Nucs this year. And so that's what my plan is from this point forward, is that I won't overwinter any bees, and it's a way for me to sell my equipment out and then kind of slowly get out of the business. I still enjoy it. I still like to do it. I would love for a young person to just come up and talk to me about it and be passionate and want to take it over. That really hasn't happened yet. I kind of hope it will, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But those are my plans for now, and I'm just going to cruise on down the Clearwater River here and visit with you when I get to Lewiston. Okay, so I'm closing in on Lewiston here, and getting about lunchtime. I'm gonna cruise up and get me some lunch, do a little bit of pick up some odds and ends that I need. So Lewiston's about an hour and a half from where I live, It's where we take our once a month grocery shopping trip and pick up what we need for groceries to eat for a month. We have to plan that far ahead because it's such a long drive. So that's one of the disadvantages of living in a small rural community, or an advantage, depending on how you want to look at it. Makes you plan ahead and budget your finances as well, and that sort of thing. So it makes the cost of living less by planning ahead. So I rather enjoy it. It gives you look into being prepared for the unforeseen. Power goes out, we still have groceries because we've got to have them. We have to plan ahead. So anyhow, I'm going to buzz around here, do a little shopping, and then we'll continue our journey up north, where I'm going to stay the night. Back when I was younger, I would just leave my house at 3 in the morning and make this trip. It's about a 5-hour trip. I get there about 8:30, pick up the bees, drive back, install them in early afternoon, and then make it home and time for dinner. But I don't play that game anymore. I'm older and slower, and I don't like to push the envelope that hard. So we'll get up there halfway, stay the night, and then it'll make a more pleasant day tomorrow. So all right, I'll be back when I'm done doing my shopping. So one thing I'm learning is that you need to park not facing the sun with these cameras, because as the sun shines through the window, it cooks them. The GoPro won't work, but get ready to head out of Lewiston here. Did a little bit of shopping and trying to get my GoPro going so you guys can join me on the journey, but I don't know how well that will work. 81 degrees today down here, which is really nice, and spring has sprung for sure. Okay, so we'll get out of Lewiston here with the air conditioner on full tilt on the GoPro, and I'll just turn the cell phone on forward facing and we'll record it. There's the big L on the hill up ahead from Lewiston, and we'll climb that hill and then head out across the Palouse, which is big wheat country. This up here is the Palouse. Anything you see is green right now is a winter crop. They overwintered it, and it's well on its way to huge production this year. Been having really good, favorable farming weather. Anything that's dead or dirt looking is going to be planted as spring crops here, or here within the next 2 weeks, or has been already, and it'll turn green here shortly. But so this will be bread basket of America here. There's a huge amount of wheat is produced here. The wheat yields up here are frequently in excess of 150 bushel per acre of wheat, mostly soft white wheat they grow, and some red wheat. Okay, so we're closing in on Moscow, Idaho. That's Moscow with an O and not a cow. Cow is in Russia. O is in Idaho. Moscow, Idaho. Just so you know, every little place has its own way to pronounce things. Moscow, Idaho. This is where the University of Idaho is at. There's a really good engineering college here, and has a really good forestry college and mining college. There's some other aspects of this place that are really unique. And it's right on the border with Pullman, so WSU is right across the border there. They have a Saturday's farmers market here in Moscow throughout the summer, every Saturday. It has locally raised produce and homespun goods. It's kind of a neat event. If you ever get an opportunity to attend it, it's kind of a good day out. So they close down the street and vendors line it up, and it's pretty neat. So Surrendering Ten said, this is a town that my grandparents lived in, and that my dad, his brothers and sister were raised in. Yeah, the little house way off to the right, that's there's a tan colored little garage looking shed there now where their house used to be. That little place is where we always had Thanksgiving at growing up. So somebody else owns it now. Haven't stopped there in years. All right. Grandparents are buried out here in Tico, is up the road here a bit to the left, across the border into Washington. And my aunt and uncle there, my great-great-grandparents, they're all out there in the Tico Cemetery. Okay, so good morning. We're headed the rest of the journey here, about 45 minutes or so. A few back roads up through Washington here and up to Clayton, and we'll pick up our honeybees. Of course, once again, I'll bring you along with the high speed and look at the trees that are blooming up here at this time. It's just amazing. The bee feed up here is pretty amazing this time of year. Spring is they're booming. They're doing really well. So kind of a happy time and a happy place. So okay, well we'll visit with you when we get there. Okay, so I showed up here. I just picked up my 6 Nucs that I ordered, and amazingly they had 10 extras, so I bought 6 more because normally I get 12 every year, and I've got room for them at home, and I made the decision to go ahead and continue on. It looks like we're going to have we've got really promising weather, so I think I can do well with these, and I'm going to kind of just show you how the pickup goes here for a little bit. I'm gonna flip the camera around and you can watch. Okay, so people are loading their bees up in any vehicle that they've got. The main thing is to keep air to them. Don't suffocate them. They need a lot of air. They're hot and congested in that little cardboard box, and it may seem cold and cool to you, but inside there is really hot, and they are working really hard to cool it. You'll hear them fanning as you're bringing a nuke home. Okay, so now we can see the pallets of Nucs over there that they've brought in, and they're going really quickly. So that's kind of how this works. Everybody shows up and there's a line. So visit a little bit with the beekeepers. Lorraine and Gib here are really good. I visited with them quite a bit over the years. They've been very helpful. If you're getting new Nucs, if you're a new beekeeper, ask some questions. When were they treated last? Put the bees in the car with you and drive down the road. If you're going to put them in the back of the pickup, they're starting to shrink wrap them so the lids stay on, and that's a suggestion that I made years ago because I just put a bunch of them in the back of the pickup and drove home, and I actually had one lid fly off. About a quarter of a mile from my destination, a semi come by and created a big turbulence, and it just ripped the lid off. So wasn't a big deal, but it could have been, and maybe was a big deal. I don't know. If you're traveling and you lose a bunch of bees, it can be bad. So you pick a Nuc up, make certain that that lid is, just a wrap of duct tape or shrink wrap like they're doing here, something along those lines. Trying to think of anything else that you may need to know. So these caged queens are going to have electrical tape around them. So if I just take them home and walk away from them, transfer them without untaping the queen, then I would have issues. She won't get out of the box. So the tape is to keep the bees from eating or removing the honey plug too quickly. So as soon as I get home with it, then we can go ahead and take that tape off, and they'll start working on that, and that'll release her just the right amount of time that they've accepted her, and everything is working good. So, all right, well, we're gonna go do the high-speed journey home, and hopefully you join me here, and then we'll get set up with the tripod camera in the apiary. I've got extra work to do today because I picked up an additional 6 Nucs. So I'm going to set up the 6 in my Orfino apiary down in the river, and then we'll have to take these other 6 home, and we'll set them up on the prairie. When I was leaving, I noticed that we've got our first day of dandelion bloom, so I'm ready for bees in wee eye bead, and then we'll get half of them set up there, and we'll just compare the difference and see how they do. So, all right, well, we'll catch you in Orfino. Okay, so I'm coming back down the Washington side. I'm cruising through Colfax, Washington here, and thinking about what I got to do when I get where I'm going. And I remembered I forgot something very important. So I forgot my smoker today, and I'm gonna have to stop and install these bees before I can get home and get my smoker. So I'm gonna stop in Lewiston and pick up a new one. Probably the most affordable one that I can buy, and then I'll kind of do a review on it, and then we'll kind of go from there. But yeah, I forgot my tools today. Okay, so just stopped in here at Lewiston, and I found this smoker here for 20 bucks. Some sort of a pretty cheap, affordable one. We'll give it a try and see how it works out. I haven't even opened it up yet, but when I get to the apiary there in Orfino, we'll peel it out and see what it looks like. All right, we'll catch you there. Okay, so I just called the landowners of the apiary down here in Orfino, told them I'm coming. One of them wants to help me with the bees. They want to learn, and so we'll see if we can get her suited up in a coat, extra bee coat that I brought along, a jacket, and get all rigged up here. We'll open up that smoker and see if we can locate some sort of fuel while we're getting all that stuff rigged up. And then we'll see you down here at the apiary. Okay, so a new smoker comes, and it's got this little deal here in the bottom. These are flat for shipping, and you need to, they're legs, you got to bend them out like yay. And then what that'll do is that provides a standoff when we put it in here like this for our fuel to sit on, and then this air blows out of this hole in this billow and through this big opening into our smoker to keep it going. We can use some pine straw or cotton shirt here. Either or will work for fuel. I'll grab a Bic. So, I think I'm going to start out with a cotton shirt, because that's always the best. I'm going to get a flame going on there. Once I get a flame on a corner, I can just hold that down in the can, and it protects it from the wind, usually. Keep it from catching on fire. Loosely, and we got our smoker going. Hey, that new one works pretty good for 20 bucks. That's not too bad of a deal. Kind of a little steep uphill deal here. I put it full drive so I don't spit out in the deeper rocks, the gravel going up the hill. I don't want to tear the road up. And then I get up there, I'll get turned around in case there's an emergency. I'm facing the correct direction to get out of here. Tight little spot, but we'll buzz up in here and get turned around. So, all right. Okay, so there's Pam. Got a coat on her already. She's getting ready to help me, and I will. I'll get turned around here and backed up in on that. There. All right, so this is what it looks like inside my colony. I've got 2 on the outsides on each, 5 in the middle because I'm using a 9-space divider. I'm going to put my entrance reducer in now before I transfer my bees, so they'll have a nice, easy time of it without getting robbed out and that sort of thing. I use a frame grip, and then these Nucs come, they started shrink wrapping them here. Like I said, that's kind of my fault. I'm the one that had some bees, had the lid get off of me on the way home. I'm the only guy that has to drive for 6 hours. And anyways, I lost the lid a quarter of a mile away from home several years ago, and I told them about it. And after that, they've always either duct tape, or this year they started with the shrink wrap. So that works out real nice. So what we're going to do is, to transfer these, is we're going to lift the lid off here like this. And so we've got bees here on the inside. I'm going to shake these in. Okay, so that lid is empty. I'm going to cast it away. Hand me that smoker, would you, Pam? We better give these bees a smoke before they get too carried away. Make sure we're still going here. Yeah, we're puffing in there, but I'm going to need another. Need my next rag. Good thing I got it in my pocket here. Okay. All right. $20 smoker seems to be working pretty good. Get them smoked down. Okay, now when you transfer these bees from this box to this box, it's important to maintain the orientation of the frame very, very carefully. So I'm going to use my frame grip because that's how I do it. Get on top here. And then I use my hive tool to break them loose. Make sure that it's loose and off to the side. And then carefully lift straight up so I don't roll a bunch of bees and kill them. Okay, now I want to put this in the same orientation, but I want to look at it before I do. See, I got a nice big pattern of brood here. Looks good. And pattern of brood there. So that looks pretty good. We're going to put this right in here. Nice and careful, right on the divider. And that's how we're going to do that. We're going to transfer that one. And then this one will divide. And in it goes. We're going to take a look at it. This has some honey in it, some brood. Lots and lots of bees. Looks good. Just want to maintain that orientation. This is how they came apart. Okay, so what we have there is that the queen stayed on this frame. So I'm going to grab it loose off of there. Notice how there's electrical tape all the way around here. And these are nurse bees, and they're feeding her right now and keeping care of her. And they've become her dearest and greatest admirers. And so they're taking care of the queen. So that tape was keeping this sugar candy plug protected, and now that I took it off, they can eat that candy out and release her. And then I'm going to put it back in the same spot that it came out of. And make sure that that screen is sideways so that the ventilation, you don't want to smother her. And then the next thing that we'll do is I'm going to smoke these bees off the top bar so I can get a hold of it without squishing any. Careful. And then same orientation. Right in here we go. Down and then over sideways. And then that locks that queen in position. She stay right there. Next frame. Careful to not squish any bees. Up. Look at it. Huge pattern of brood. When that all hatches, they'll be just gangbuster bees. And we have some drones here about to hatch off. That'll really help us out here this spring. So we'll just locate them there. This one's the next one. Careful to, oh, I got a piece of grass there. I'm going to peel that. And we're going to, another nice, this is a frame of honey. This will keep them fed. And slowly drop that in there. Okay. All right. So that's installed, except for they still have a bunch of bees here in the bottom. And I'm going to take this up one shake. Quick and dirty. And I got a bunch of them hiding out in the edges here. Look at that. They're all caught up in the insides here. See if we can shake them out. Okay. And then, now that I've got that shook out as good as I can, I'm just going to back off. Leave that bee. We'll grab this inner cover. This notch goes forward. Put it on at an angle and rotate it into place to push the bees off the bar. Telescoping cover has a notch. It goes in the front. Boom. Good to go. All right, we'll move on and do the next one and the next one and the next one. And Pam will help me. In fact, she'll do the next one and I'll talk her through it.
So you shake the lid into the bee box.
Yeah, the first thing I do is that there'll be bees under the lid, so I just shake them off really quickly. There you go. Okay, that's it. So just pitch it back there upside down, even though there's some on there. You're not going to get them all. Now smoke those down before they get crazy. Give them some smoke on there. Okay, give them just a puff off to get them off the top bar. Nice, nice, perfect. I'm standing in the camera's way. Nobody can see what you're doing. Okay. Okay, it looks good. Yep, queen's on the next frame, so nice and gentle. Careful to not squish them on the end bars. Looking good. Yep, set them down.
Yep, must be in.
Yeah, that's in there. Okay. Now you can get the queen now or on the. In fact, I would get her now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and then I would use the hive tool to peel. You can set the frame grip down. Use the hive tool to peel the tape off. Find out where it's stuck at and. Nice. Okay. Okay, and then you want to try and stick her back in the same spot that she came out of.
Oh shoot.
Doesn't matter. You'll
so
see
like
that,
this.
Huh?
It came out like this.
Yeah, she'll be. Yep, absolutely. And then just kind of stick her in there and in that.
Right here.
Yeah, and then pull up into that comb a little bit, and that wax will stick her in there. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, and then carefully transfer that frame to not bump her off, and you'll lock her in. Okay, good job. All right, nice and careful. Okay, we can get all the way down and then slide her in there. There you go. Lock her in. Looks good. Okay?
Come on, you little buggers. Get off of there.
Yeah. All right, you got it. Okay.
This one's the heaviest.
Yeah, that's full of honey. The heavy one's the one that's full of honey. They put a feed frame in and then 4 frames of brood. Nice and slow. You let it go on its own, kind of. Don't force it. There you go. Okay. All right.
And then do the dirty.
And then just turn them up and bounce them once. Straight up and down, just once. Got it. And then now you can shake the box and shake them out because they're stuck in there. Let me show you. They hide up in under here, like that other box. They were stuck up in under there. See that? So when I bang it down, they come down out of these corners. Okay, now pitch it up behind us, and they'll find their home in a minute. All right? Okay, let's get these lids on here.
Okay,
And
so
I'll get this entrance reducer in here, and we'll be happy.
so start out sideways.
Yep, just like that. Rotate right into place. Okay. And then the other
This
one
one
right
goes
on top.
straight on?
Yep.
Okay.
Got it. All right.
Yeehaw.
Ready to go. Now we're ready to go to the next one. All right. Well. Okay, so we're just going to get this all put together, and I'll come back when we're all done. Okay, so we've got everybody installed now, and we're going to put straps on here.
How tight do you make them?
I just snug them up so the wind doesn't blow them off.
Okay.
That's generally
Rule
as
of
tight
thumb.
as I get them. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
get too carried away. And
Okay, everybody off.
that's the deal. So, Pam, you notice how, see this colony up here that's got a whole bunch of bees out front, and
Yes.
the one you're working on right now? So, what's going on there is that's where all what they call drift bees. So, none of these bees have established where their home is at. But generally, in the end of a row or one end or the other of an apiary, when you establish it, we'll end up with some really strong colonies, and because of the drift bees. So, a lot of those bees came out of different boxes that end up at these strong colonies like that.
Ah.
And those are the drift bees. So, those two should do really good this year because they've got extra bees in them. So I've got 2 extra brood boxes and two empty honey supers here from last year, so good place to park resources. So this is the lid here, and then I just put my empty boxes on top and then the lid on there to keep everybody out so they're not getting invaded. Okay, and then Pam, one thing I didn't tell you, and I'm bad about it, but as you get going, if you come down here and mess with the bees, decide to look inward, it's always best to work from the back side because they're used to flying in and out, and they're going to start running into you and smacking you and stuff. And
Yeah.
so it's always better to.
Okay.
These guys don't know where their entrance is yet, so it's not that big a deal. We've just installed them, but in the future, that's something that I try and remember.
Okay.
It doesn't always happen. So let me show you how to deal with a smoker. You get ready to put it away. I just went and grabbed a handful of grass, and I just twist a plug out of it. And then if I stick that in here as a plug, then it won't get a whole bunch of air. It'll kind of suffocate the fire and put it out, and that way I won't waste my smoker fuel. I can relight it and use it later. But
cool.
That's how that works.
Okay.
Okay, so that's it for that apiary. We got 8 of them installed, and they're looking pretty good. Pam was a huge help. That was really nice to have somebody go ahead and get the hives opened up and ready to go and move along and you know, just kind of help stuff out that move boxes around. That was a big asset, and hopefully she learned a little bit, and I can keep showing her more. Any help I can get, it's always a big bonus to me. So, all right, well, we're gonna head on up to Weehype now, and it'll take me about 45 minutes to get there. It'll be about, looks like 4 o'clock. And it'll take me half an hour, 45 minutes by myself to get these guys all installed and put up where they need to be, one at a time, and then I'll head home for the evening. So, all right, well, enjoy the high speed, and I'll see you in Lehigh. Okay, so I'm closing in on a wee ipe here. What I'm going to do is just going to set up the camera on the time lapse there to set up these last 4 colonies. Kind of make it quick, so I'll let you watch along there, and you can kind of know what I'm doing. So, all right, we'll get these last 4 put away. Okay, so I'm here at my little apiary in Lehigh. It looks like I got 2 dead outs here. We'll inspect them other 2 while I'm here and see what they look like. But okay, so I'll have to do 2 here and 2 out at the other apiary. Okay, so there's bees in all 4 of those boxes now. I've got 2 more Nucs to install. I'll take them out to another apiary that I have and install them out there. So I'll catch you out there. Alright, well, I got all those bees installed. That went really well. It's about that smoker that I bought. I'm actually pretty impressed for 20 bucks. That seems like a pretty good investment for a beginner smoker for sure. I don't know how it would hold up, long term, but boy, it felt reasonably good quality, and it worked really well. The bellows were lined up properly, and they worked really good. The standoff did what it was supposed to do, and I would have to probably, somebody was getting started, recommend that. That's not a bad smoker to get a hold of for sure. So I'll be giving that to a beginning beekeeper. I've got some pretty good Dayton's. I even still have Dad's great big monster one that I put a new billow on. So, all right, well, that's going to be it for this video. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll catch you next time.